Good morning, my friends. After a little technical difficulty, here we are live on this day 2 of this Anchored in Abundance series. Today, I want to share with you how we can break out of the cycle of unnecessary scarcity in these times of upheaval and crisis and open ourselves to abundance. Good morning, Jenna. I'm so glad you could join. As people are gathering, I really want to support you to do something that is probably the simplest and most powerful practice that you can use to support yourself to navigate these times. And that is to simply stop and give yourself time to take a long, slow, deep breath. Good morning, Masha. Good morning, Susie. So I invite you to just stop whatever you're doing, no multitasking, just sit there or stand there and just take a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And just continue to do that. And there's many reasons why I'm asking you to do this. First of all, if you do that, it can help you start to become more present to yourself, to this moment. As you inhale and exhale, I invite you to scan your body and notice where your body is holding tension or tightness or fear, because it's likely it is. And just bring your next inhale, that life force energy, bring it to those areas in your body. Let them be filled with that life force energy, and then exhale out and see if you can just relax in this moment just a bit more. The other reason why I'm having you begin with this breathing is because I'm giving you a muscle memory of what the flow of abundance feels like. It begins by us receiving the oxygen that we didn't have to create, that gives us life. Our bodies and our lungs and our heart, which we also did not have to create, that knows how to utilize that oxygen to give us life. And then we exhale and we give life out into the world, because the carbon dioxide that we're releasing actually feeds the plants and the trees. So, again, just keep breathing as you're listening to me. And more, with every breath, drop deeper right into your heart. Bring your next breath into your heart space. And what you may notice as you begin to connect with your heart is you may have all sorts of emotions bubbling and brewing in your heart. That's pretty expected given the upheaval, the chaos that we're in right now in our world, where it feels like life as we've known it, it's gone, and we don't know where it's going to go and when we're going to get back to normal or a new normal. And so what's most important is that you just let yourself claim those feelings without diving into them and getting frozen by them. And so when I'm feeling those feelings, and last night I had a good period where I was feeling that stress, that pressure, the wondering what's going to happen. And that's when you can go back to this simple practice and take a long, slow, deep breath and bring it into your heart. And whatever those feelings are, let them be there. Let them be there. Don't try and shut them down. Don't try and ignore them. Let them be there. Just imagine yourself with this breath of life just surrounding them. Just surrounding them, like with a soft, warm, hugging energy. Letting them be there and just surround them. This breath of life, this oxygen that we're breathing in the Judaic Christian tradition, is the very Spirit of God, the Spirit of the divine. So as you breathe in and you bring your breath to your heart, whatever emotions are bubbling up, especially if they're the ones that are really uncomfortable, just imagine that divine Spirit of God just surrounding them, holding them, And then as you exhale, see if you can relax into that space a bit more. Today, as I was thinking, what is there for me to share? I got a pretty clear signal. It's to talk briefly about a principle I've taught for years called the cycle of unnecessary scarcity. And what I mean by unnecessary scarcity is it's scarcity that we really don't have to experience in each moment. It's, there is real dictionary definition scarcity happening in our world right now. There are not enough ventilators for all the people who need them. That's real scarcity, and it can create fear. So go back to that breath again. Good morning, Terry. But the unnecessary scarcity is the scarcity that we create in ourselves in reaction to what's happening, in reaction to what's going on in the world, in reaction to real lack or limitation. If you've lost your job or you've been laid off or your business is closed and you don't have income coming in right now, okay? That's real. It's never about pretending it's not real. It's just that how you're reacting or responding to it, when you're reacting to it in a disempowered place or from a fear-based place, then you're amplifying the real scarcity and creating unnecessary scarcity for yourself, both emotionally and physically in your body. But from that place, you can often make choices from desperation and fear that just can create more of it. So there's so much I could share about this cycle and, more importantly, how to break out of it. Today, I want to just focus on one piece of that. Well, actually, I just got two. One, we're going to get caught in that cycle of unnecessary scarcity. 99.999 times out of 100. When our thoughts go racing off to the future, because we ain't there yet, or they're looking back at the past and bringing that into this moment. The access point to abundance is always going to be in this moment. That's why we have to breathe moment by moment. We cannot breathe in on Sunday all the oxygen we're going to need for the rest of the week. It doesn't work that way. We have to open to receive what's here to give us life, use it in ways that support life, and then we have to be willing to let it go. And that, my friends, is a moment of absolute trust and faith in something bigger than us, what I call abundance, or in the source of life, that the oxygen we need is going to be there for us again in the next moment. So the more you can stay here in this moment, the more that's going to support you to experience abundance in the midst of all that's going on. Even when you're feeling those scary feelings, when you can go back to that breath and just imagine the Spirit of God just holding you, surrounding them, that's going to allow your energy to flow more. When we try and deny them, not feel them, etc., we create a block in our energy. And that's not going to open us to abundance, because a block blocks everything. It won't let the stuff we don't like out, and it won't let the stuff that we do want in. So here's the other piece about the cycle of unnecessary scarcity that I want to share with you. The primary focus or filter we operate in terms of our thoughts, when we get caught in that cycle, is we're focused on what we don't have. Or on another level, what we didn't do. We focus on what we don't have. Oh my God, my friends, let me see a yes typed in there if you can get how that is happening in our world today. Like we're seeing what we don't have. And a lot of people, rightfully so, we're grieving losses of life as we know it, loss of income. But there can be that focus on what we don't have, what we can't do. Are you with me? Let me see some yeses if you're with me on that one. Okay. And when we're in that place of focusing on what we don't have or can't do, okay, then at some level, conscious or subconscious, all of our energies, all of our thoughts, all of our efforts are directed at getting what we don't have or hanging on to what we've got now. That looks like this. I'm going to hold on to this oxygen as long as I possibly can, because what if I can't have any tomorrow? It doesn't work. Okay? When we're trying to get what we don't have, notice what my hand does every time. It winds up closed. And when we're closed and constricted and tight and in fear, that's a place of scarcity and disempowerment. It does not open us to abundance. Similarly, when we're trying to hang on to what we've got, which a lot of people are doing around their money. If you don't have a lot of money to weather this storm, it's like, I got to hang on to it. I got to hang on to it. And while you do need to use prudence around money, we don't want to do it in this way because we wind up in the same place. Closed. Closed. We cannot open to something new or abundant coming in. Now, to begin to experience abundance, even in the midst of real scarcity or apparent scarcity, we have to change our focus. We have to change our focus to what we have. To what we have. Not like, but it's not as much as I used to have. No, we have to focus on what we have. And we have still so much, my friends. We still have sunshine today in Wisconsin. We still have birdsong. We still have people who love us. Hopefully you still have food to eat, even if it's not the food you always eat. What do you have? Do you have money in your bank account? What do you have? First step, can you remember to be grateful for that? If nothing else, this time that we're in is waking us up to how much as a society and maybe individually we have taken for granted, where we have not practiced gratitude. And the flow of abundance is always about using what we have in ways that create life for ourselves and for others. So the movement when you're in the flow of abundance of focusing on what we have is first of all on gratitude for it. And then it's about using it in ways that gives life. It's about giving or creating. Giving. Notice my hands are very different. Get them in front of the camera here. My hands are in an open position when I give, which means I'm also in a position to receive. Now I'm clear some of you are very generous givers, but right now maybe you can't give in the way you normally do. Look at what you have. Whether that's tangible material things, or if it's just an intuitive hit to call somebody and check in on them, if it's a project in your house that you've been wanting to clear and clutter, but you never had enough time to do it before, you have time now, if you're in lockdown, to do that. In closing, I remember once many, many years ago, at a particularly rough time in our lives financially. In fact, it was in the time when we were considering and pretty sure we were going to be filing bankruptcy. Oh man, was I focused on what we didn't have and a lot of fear and unnecessary scarcity. And knowing this principle, it's like, okay, what do I have? I obviously don't have a lot of money. And I looked around, it was in late spring, and there outside our door was all of our irises blooming their guts out. I went, wow, I have irises and they're beautiful, which already started to shift my energy because I wasn't focused on what I didn't have. And then I thought of my elderly neighbor who at that time lived about a mile down the road, Leona. And I went, I bet you Leona would love these flowers. And I cut the flowers and I walked them down to her and I gave them to her and she loved them. And my whole energetic field had changed from tense and tight and fear to open and flowing a bit more. In that moment, I had an experience of abundance and nothing had changed in terms of we were going to be filing bankruptcy, but I was standing in a different place. And when I could see what I had, be grateful for it, enjoy it, and use it to create something that gave life or joy or love to others, I experienced life and joy and abundance in return, just like when we breathe. Speaking of which, if you have any questions or comments, if anything on this was particularly valuable or supportive of you, please add that in the comments. Today, I invite you, even in lockdown, what do you have? And what can you give or create today that gives life to one other person or joy to one other person, to multiple people, and to yourself? There's your action today, as well as breathing, which is one thing we can do right now. To help anchor this in, this flow of receiving, gratitude, and giving, I'm going to invite you to, again, let's together take some of these long, slow, deep breaths. And let us, as we inhale the spirit of life that we have been given, the ultimate gift, and as we exhale, imagining sending life out into the world, I invite you to do so. And as you're doing, send life, send healing, send love to all the people around the world who are affected by this, which is everyone. Because you can do this. You have this ability to send energy out into the world of love and light and courage and healing, most especially to those who are most severely impacted by this virus, the healthcare workers, the people who are working in grocery stores so that we can still have food to eat, the transportation workers who are making sure as best they can get food and supplies to those stores. You can always take a moment and harness, receive love, and send love and healing out into the world. And when you do, my friends, you are breaking in this moment that cycle of unnecessary scarcity. Blessings on you all. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Be safe, be smart, and be well. Mwah. Have a blessed day.